Okay, so we will get started. Turn on a little bit of light here. I want to start off by first telling you guys a little bit about me, my personal story, my personal weight loss story, and struggles that I've had and how I've yo-yoed in the past. I grew up always being told that I was, here are words that describe me growing up: big boned, thick, athletic. I was never, words that were never used to describe me my whole life was skinny, tiny, itty bitty. I don't know. I mean, I could probably go on and on. And that's okay. Personally, I don't want to be tiny. I don't want to look like, I don't know, who's an example of I don't want to look like an actress or model that looks anorexic. I don't want people to be like, she is a cheeseburger. But I also want to be happy in my own skin and feel confident. But I don't want to say I've always struggled with being at a healthy weight, because I didn't always struggle with that. I was at a very healthy athletic weight my whole life. I had kids, and as soon as I had my first child, I had major struggles with losing weight. And looking back, I wish I could go back and like smack myself upside the top of my head, because it was all up here. It truly was. I struggled really hard with my mindset after having my first son. And part of that comes with the territory. I was in a whole new role in my life. I actually did suffer from some postpartum blues that I never felt comfortable talking to anyone about aside from my family. So I had that kind of working against me at the time as well. And I struggled really bad. I struggled really hard. And you guys, I tried everything. I starved myself. I took diet pills. I quit breastfeeding so that I could take diet pills. I went to the gym for 2 hours a day so that I could try to burn more calories, and I was probably only eating like 1,000 calories a day. I tried everything. I tried it all. And even with my journey with Beachbody, I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah, I've done 21-day fix, and I've done the container system, and I've lost a great amount of weight in those 21 days. But then guess what happens on day 22? I go out and have a celebratory dinner or drinks, and then I stop following the containers, and then I just start to like slowly get back into my old habits because I wasn't changing my mindset and I wasn't following something that could truly be sustained lifelong. And fast forward or rewind, whatever you want to say, to this past June, and To Be Mindset came out. And I immersed myself in it, because what choice did I have? This is like the first nutrition-only program I've ever done. What choice did I have? Did I want to keep yo-yoing the rest of my life? Did I want to be where I was, which was still not feeling comfortable with my skin, because after 30 days of being strict, then I would gain the weight back and my pants would be tight again and I just didn't feel good. I didn't want to keep going down that spiral. So I immersed myself in this, and I had such great success with it. I mean, I'll talk more about this at the end, but I'm at a weight now that I haven't been at ever after having kids. And even to get to the weight I was a few weeks ago, to get there before, I would have had to starve myself to get to that weight. And here I am. I feel good. For the first time, I think my whole freaking life, I'm talking to myself in a positive way, and I'm not focusing on the negatives. And I felt so good and passionate about what this did for me that I had to, as soon as Beachbody came out and said, you know what, we know so many of you love this so much and you want to be able to help people, we're going to offer you guys to become certified mentors. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. I found out about that in July, immediately signed up as soon as it was available this month, and I immersed myself in that to learn how to help others get to the point where I am. And guys, I'm still working on myself. These things I'm going to talk to you today about. I totally need a Kleenex, but I don't think I have any in here. Sorry, it's a wrong moment. I'm still working. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm an emotional eater. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I'm an emotional drinker. I drink when I'm happy. I drink when I'm feeling angry. I drink when I'm feeling stressed. I eat for all those reasons as well. So I'm still a work in progress. So don't think I'm perfect. Don't think this has like cured me of anything, but it's made me more aware of why I'm turning to things when I do. And I hope that, and again, this is not, of course I'm promoting To Be Mindset because I love it. And I think that if everybody could implement To Be Mindset in their lives, the happiness, the results would just be amazing. But it's not even about that. The things that I'm going to teach you it's what goes into 2B mindset, but you don't have to get the program to implement what I'm going to teach you today. Okay. So you can start doing this stuff right now and have results. So, and again, going to use my notes a little bit here, but the biggest thing about weight loss is not what you're eating. I know that's crazy. Weight loss is as much about your mindset as it is what you're actually eating. Did you guys know that? If you're not in the right mindset, you are not going to see the results that you want. Or maybe you will, but again, as soon as you go back to a normal lifestyle and quit the restriction of whatever you're doing for that weight loss you're just going to go right back to where you were. I'm going to talk to you guys today about some negative thoughts you might have and how you can start to reform those negative thoughts and put yourself into a more positive mind space. But I also want to go over some examples with each one. So a huge example that I can think of, I was just thinking of stuff today before coming on. Think about that show, The Biggest Loser. Did you guys watch that show? Did anybody watch? Hands up, anyone? I loved that show. Fellow foodie here, struggled with weight loss. I loved The Biggest Loser. But you guys know what happened with them? They were on this show. They lost so much weight, like an incredible amount of weight. But they were in this situation that was unrealistic. They were working out like 4 times a day. They were eating, they literally had like a person telling them exactly what to eat, and they were cooking it for them. And there was no option to go get fast food. There was no option to go out to eat with your friends. There was no option that you were going to go to a family barbecue. So then these people that had this dramatic and drastic weight loss, they would go home after the show, after all this weight loss. Yeah, that's why she quit. Yeah. And they would go home and they would go back into their normal routine, and they started to gain weight. And do you know what happened? Because nobody had addressed their mindset. And yeah, Jillian Michaels and Bob, whatever, what was his name? Bob Harper? I don't know what his name was. Yeah. They did try to work on that with these people, but the problem was they weren't working on their mindset in their normal routine, their normal day-to-day. So these people went back home. Maybe they gained 5 pounds. Their first 5 pounds they gained back. And guess what started happening? Their downward negative spiral, because they gained 5 pounds. So their immediate thought is, I just can't do this in real life. You know what? I did it for the show and it was great, but I can't implement what I learned in real life, what I did on the show. I just can't. I'm going to be fat again. That's what's going to happen to me. So they start going down that negative spiral. They start eating more bad things because they keep thinking like every 5 pounds they gain that they're just not going to be able to do it. So because they didn't change the mindset, it all just came back. And sadly enough, if you can just Google search it, all the people, not all, some of them have kept it off, but most of the people that went on the show, when they get home, they gain all the weight back and then some. So some of the people today weigh heavier than they did when they started on the show. And you guys know that's unhealthy because none of them started on that show in a healthy weight. A lot of them were at a scary high weight. So that is what I mean by mindset. And you have to start, so to even tackle this, you have to start speaking to yourself in a more positive way. I know that sounds so cliche, like, okay, talk to myself positive. But positive words lead to positive results. They really do. Our words shape our actions, and our actions are going to shape our results. I'm going to go over some of those common thoughts that you've probably had about yourself and how you can start shifting your mindset and talking to yourself a little different. So, first of all, show of hands. How many of you have ever referred to yourself as fat? It's probably everyone's hand is up. We can't see some hands here. Yeah, we're all likely guilty of describing ourselves as fat in one way or another at some point in our lives or another. We just are. It's so normal in our society to say that word, to use that word. And maybe you've ever, I'm going to show you to not use that word because it's going to create this negative downward spiral. So follow me here. Let's say you wake up in the morning and you say, oh my God, I'm just so fat, can't fit in my jeans. Nothing fits good on me. I look horrible. I look so fat in this outfit. And then you go to a party, and at this party there's pizza. And you say, you know what? I'm fat anyway. Might as well have 2 pieces of pizza. And then you think, well, I just had 2 pieces of pizza. I might as well have 2 more. And then somebody brings out some cake, and you're like, well, I already ate 4 pieces of pizza and ruined it for the day. I already screwed up. I might as well eat some cake. And then someone brings out some French fries, and that's like your trigger food. And you're like, well, fuck. I'm sorry if anyone's kids are around. I'm an F-bomb dropper. F-bomb dropper all the time. I'll try to not do that again. But you guys start to go down this downward spiral. And before you know it, you're thinking in your head, well, I already blew today, so I'm not even going to worry about eating a healthier dinner tonight. I'm just going to go out to eat or go get fast food. And then the next day, you avoid the scale. You avoid the scale for a few weeks, maybe for a few months. And then a week goes by and you say, well, I ruined this whole week. No. What are you doing? Go. Sorry. Kid alert. You've ruined the week. So you're like, all right, you know what? I'll just start next week. I'll start next Monday. Right? And then you think, well, then I ruined the next week. So you're like, whatever, I'll just start next month because I just can't do it yet. I'm not ready. And then time goes on and you keep avoiding that scale. You keep avoiding to see where you are until you go to the doctor or something and like a big dose of reality smacks you right in the face. And then suddenly you get on the scale, and that scale you're telling yourself is your enemy. The scale is your enemy because it's telling you exactly, it's justifying to you in your mind what you've been telling yourself all along. The scale justifies that you're fat. And you're like, see, I am. It's right. The scale is right. And then the scale becomes your enemy. Everything's negative, and it's all stemming from that one word that you told yourself, that you're fat. So I want you guys to completely cut out that word. Okay? Don't use it ever again to describe yourself. If you do, take a step back and say, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to change that. I'm not fat. I'm just working towards a goal. Okay? Cut it out of your vocabulary. You guys have to start thinking about positive vocabulary in your life, in your mind about yourself. So here's going to be some things that you also might find yourself saying, and I'm going to tell you how you can reshape that, okay? Maybe you've told yourself before, I'm so bad. I've been so bad this week. Oh my God, I cheated so many days. Ugh, I can't do this. I cheated too much, and now I just ruined it all. Instead of saying that, I want you to say, you know what? I stumbled a little bit. I stumbled this week. But you know what I can do is I'm going to focus on making some better choices this week, and I'm going to start to shift my mind in that. I'm going to start to shift the choices that I make. Instead of saying, I just can't lose this weight, because we've all probably said that before, right? I want you to focus on a small goal. You know what? I can lose 2 pounds. I can lose a pound. I can lose 2 pounds, and I'm going to do that. So don't think about the 20, 30, 40 pounds you want to lose. Think about 2. I can lose 2 pounds. I can do this. Instead of saying, I give up. I just can't. I'm not meant to do this. I give up. I want you to say, you know what? I clearly need to try something new, or I need to really focus on what I am doing and really dive into it and really focus what I'm supposed to be focusing on. Instead of saying, I'm stuck at this weight. How many of you said that before? I'm stuck at this weight. Yeah, I've said it. I want you to say, I will get this weight off. I will. Maybe you're even at a point where you've just started to tell yourself, I just don't care. It's fine. I just don't care. I don't care how I look. This is me. I don't care that I'm unhappy. I'm just going to be unhappy. You know what? That's a crock of shit. Because you do care. And I know you care because you're all on here right now. You're on this call. Something made you want to get on here, so you do care. So if you find yourself saying that, you know it's a lie. You're telling yourself a lie to justify your negative behavior towards yourself and your negative thoughts towards yourself. Our bodies don't get as stuck as our minds do. Did you guys hear that? Our bodies don't get as stuck as our minds do. Have you guys heard before those crazy stories about like a mom lifting a car off her kids or lifting something like crazy heavy to like save their kid or their loved one? Your body is freaking amazing. Your body can do whatever you tell it to do. So you're not stuck anywhere. You're not stuck where you are. You've just been telling yourself that lie for so long that you believe it. You've allowed that to be your reality. Instead of the fact that I've stumbled, but I can make better choices, or I will get this weight off, or I can lose 2 pounds, or I do care. My body needs this. the health, my future, my life, my kids' future, because I want them to have me in their life for a very long time. My grandkids. I do care. I care for all of that because I want to be here for all of that and I want to be healthy for all of that. Start to change how you think, okay? You're not stuck. Your mind is stuck, but you're not stuck. And you can unstuck your mind today. You're going to start today. I made up a word. It's fine. I also want you guys to stop using the word cheat. Nothing positive has ever been associated with the word cheat, right? I cheated on an exam. I cheated on my spouse. I cheated on this. I cheated on that. It's all negative. So when you say, I cheated today and I had a whole large pizza from Domino's to myself, what are you doing to your mind? You're putting it into that negative mind space. So don't even use that word. I want you to start thinking of non-food related treats, not cheats, that you can enjoy. So a treat, it does not have to be just food. It can be anything. You can go get some new clothes. Maybe you're in a new size that you haven't been in a while. Do you know how good that feels? That feels awesome. And I know there's people that are on here right now who have dropped some pant sizes. How good did it feel? Mom, where is she at? She was just on here. She might have gotten kicked off. Oh, shoot. Someone's going to have to, oh, there she is. Type in the chat, Mom. Tell everyone what size you went from when you started and what size you are now. Miss 26 pounds down. She doesn't know how to use the chat. From a size 16 to a size 10, and the 10s are loose. Yeah. Okay, that's my mom. She can do it. You can do it. Do you know how good that felt? That was an amazing treat to be able to go out and do that. Yeah, Lindsay from a 12 to a 2. Go get a massage. Go get a pedicure. Those are all non-food related treats that you can do for yourself. But here's something, you guys, I want you to really listen to this. If you are going to treat yourself with food, that's okay. Okay, that's fine. I encourage you to do that. But here's what I want you to do from now on when you do that. Be present. Don't talk to anyone while you're having your treat. Tell them, hey, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to just be quiet and enjoy this for a minute if you don't mind. Enjoy that experience. Sit and really savor the taste of that food. Is it crumbly? Enjoy the crumbles. Is it savory? Enjoy how that feels. Enjoy how that chocolate cheesecake, you guys, I'm a total foodie. Enjoy how that chocolate cheesecake feels in your mouth and how it tastes. It's so good. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Fully enjoy that experience and tell yourself in your mind, I am fully enjoying this experience. I am fully enjoying this treat. And if at any point you start to feel negative about it, you start to feel like, oh man, this is ruining everything. I'm going to gain a pound or 2 from this or whatever. If you start to feel guilty, put the fork down and walk away. Because you know what that is now? It's not a treat. It's not something you're enjoying. It's something that's leading to a more negative mindset. So enjoy it or get up and walk away. It's that easy. You can still have a treat. That's food. It's okay. I did it yesterday. I didn't die. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to shift now. So that's your mindset stuff, okay? Does everybody like feel good about what I've been talking about so far? Now I want to go into, I'm getting some thumbs up. Now I want to go into the different types of hunger. And this is really important. I'm telling you guys, like, I'm an RN. I'm a master's prepared RN. I'm an educator. But I've never learned all of these different types of hunger. And when I did learn them this past week, I was like, oh my God, I've been totally eating for the wrong reasons. And it's funny because I know sometimes we know we're eating for the wrong reasons, but until like you stare at it and it stares you in the face, you're like, oh, okay. And I'm not kidding. So I did this on Tuesday. Since then, what I'm going to tell you guys to implement today, I have been so conscious of what I've been putting into my body that I'm like, this is so powerful. I wasn't going to go live and I wasn't going to do this live call until like yesterday. I was like, oh my God, I just need to get on here and just share this with everybody. So if you're going to take anything else away, listen to this part of this presentation, whatever you want to call this webinar, because this is going to blow your damn mind, okay? There are 5 different types of hunger. The first type of hunger is physical hunger. This is real. It's real hunger. Your body is giving you symptoms that you're hungry. It's giving you signs and symptoms that you're hungry. So you are, your stomach's growling. You're a little nauseated. You're a little lightheaded. Maybe you're a little cranky. Are you a hangry person when you haven't eaten for a while? I am too. That's physical hunger, and that's real. You need to feel your body when you're physically hungry, okay? But I want you guys to think about something here. How many of you have ever used the word starving? I'm starving. Oh my God, get to a restaurant, you meet up with all your friends, you're like, oh my God, I'm so starving. I need to eat everything. Oh, there's chips here. I'm gonna just eat all the chips because I'm so starving. Here's what you're doing here. The word starving, first of all, number one, cut it out of your vocabulary. And I caught myself doing this yesterday. I said the word and I was like, oh, just kidding. I'm not really starving. I'm just really hungry. I'm physically really hungry. I need to eat something. But one, that word is really insensitive. If you really think about it, it really is. It's insensitive. There really are people out there who are starving. And this is not like a shame on you kind of moment. Just say, be sensitive to that word. There are people who are starving. You are not. There has probably rarely ever been a time in your life where you were truly starving, okay? But also, when you use that word, you're giving yourself permission to act impulsively, because that word creates this sense of urgency of like, oh my God, I'm starving. I need to eat something right now to satisfy my starvation. It allows you to act impulsively, and you start to turn to those silly foods that you probably wouldn't have turned to if you didn't say that word, and associate your physical hunger with starvation, okay? Physical hunger is real hunger. It's gradual, you guys. Gradual over hours at a time. You haven't eaten for a few hours and your body now needs fuel. Your body's gonna give you physical signs that you're hungry. Does that make sense, everybody? It's gradual. That's the key word, okay? Instead of using the word starving, I want you to start changing up that vocabulary a little bit. And when you find yourself using it, say, oh, just kidding. I'm not starving. I'm just really physically hungry. And I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to find some food that's going to fuel my body. It's going to nourish me. And I'm going to feel very satisfied. Okay? To overcome those impulsive actions that you have around physical hunger, because sometimes we do really get so physically hungry that we want to be impulsive and we want to grab those like easy, silly foods that we should be avoiding. You're probably not eating enough in your day, and that's probably why you're getting that hungry. Or you start to realize, you know what, if I wait until 1 o'clock to have lunch, I don't eat my healthy lunch that I brought to work. I go down and I get like a sushi roll from the cafeteria because they're so damn delicious and crunchy, and then I just ate that food. So you start to realize that if that happened at 1 o'clock, tomorrow I'm going to eat my lunch at 12. So that I'm not to that point of like, I need to act impulsively and I need to eat something because I'm so hungry right now. Okay, does that make sense? And maybe like eating a little bit more protein, a little bit more full fiber carb. By the way, 2B mindset, all about the carbs. It is. So there's no like cutting out carbs. There really is no cutting out anything in 2B mindset. It's learning what works best for you. But just FYI, I don't want you guys to think I'm over here like keto or paleo or some shit. I can't do that. I have to eat, and I have to eat all the things. So that's a way to kind of avoid those impulsive actions around physical hunger. That's your first type of hunger. Your second type of hunger is sense hunger. And I'm going to give you guys examples of the ones that I can come up with on my own just really quickly, because this sense hunger is one that I didn't even realize I suffer from on like a daily basis, but I totally do. So sense hunger is anything that is triggered by your senses, okay? Sight. For me, if I see chocolate anything, I'm like, it looks so good. Chocolate anything. And guys, I'm a nurse. Break rooms are constantly filled with donuts and cookies and all the bad things. And I see those and I'm like, one donut won't hurt. I wasn't even hungry, but I just ate a damn donut because I saw one. Like, what the hell? Okay, smell. You smell a pizza cooking, or maybe let's say you're like at the mall and you walk by the food court and you weren't even hungry, but oh my God, the pretzels baking smells so good, and you know, the stir fry from over here smells so good. Hearing. And it took me a little bit to come up with one for hearing because I'm like, I don't really think I associate a sound with food. But think about the sizzling fajitas at a restaurant, okay? The sizzling fajitas at a restaurant. Can I tell you guys something that I learned that I had no idea about? These sneaky restaurateurs. They take that pan that your fajitas are served on, they take water and sprinkle water on that just before the server brings it out. It's not really cooking the food anymore. Hello, that would be disgusting if your food was like still cooking as they brought it out. All my life I grew up thinking that it was just like, oh, it's still cooking, it's sizzling everything on the pan. They put water on it just so that it steams a little bit and it sizzles. Mom, I know, right? It's like blowing your mind. They do that to incite for you to eat more. It's like they're tricking you into needing more of that food. Isn't that crazy? Oh, God. Isn't this so fun, you guys? You're just learning all sorts of knowledge. The other one, let's see, where was I at? Taste. Okay, big one for me. I cook different foods for my kids because they don't always eat everything we eat. That's just normal. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. Hello. They won't eat everything we do. It's just real life. People ask me all the time, well, how do you follow this healthy meal plan and have your kids eat it? Realistically, my kids eat mac and cheese and chicken tenders, okay? But the problem there is when I'm making the mac and cheese, I might take a bite to make sure it's not too hot for them. And then suddenly I've tasted it and it tastes so good. And carbs. And cheese, carbs and cheese, everything. I'm telling you guys, I'm a foodie. I love all the food. So if you think that I'm like this perfect being that eats all the healthy things, no, I have to have a bite of that mac and cheese. And then guess what happens? Then I want more than one bite. I eat one bite and then I'm like, oh, I wasn't even hungry. I'm just going to keep eating it. Or my healthy meal is still cooking and it's going to be ready in 10 minutes. But I'm going to eat like half of his serving of mac and cheese. And then I'm going to have to make him more and then make sure it's not hot again. And then you know where we're going from there, right? So that's like, oh my God, I'm loving all of your faces right now. It's like giving you life. Okay, touch. I have a really good example for touch. Let's say you are baking cookies for your kid's party at school, which means like you're not supposed to be eating them, right? They're going to school, right? And you're like, you're breaking up the cookie dough from that brick and you're putting them onto the pan and you're like, gosh, I know this is going to taste really good because I'm touching it and I've touched this cookie dough before and it tasted good before. So I'm just going to have like a nibble of some cookie dough. And then before you know it, you have like half of one, but then you're like, well, it's going to bake in the oven and be half a cookie. Nobody wants half a cookie. So you eat the other half of that piece of that cookie dough, and then you eat, one more cookie dough piece, and then they bake, and then they come out and your kid wants to have one at night before the next day when all these cookies are supposed to be going to school, and you grab a cookie for them and you hand it to them and you feel the texture of like, oh my God, it's soft and gooey and it's still warm and it just feels so good and it would taste so good, and so you eat it and you weren't even hungry. Doesn't that make sense? It's just like, this is sense hunger. And the problem with sense hunger is that most often you didn't need it. Typically, these are not real needs, okay? You weren't physically hungry at all. And the other problem with these types of hunger is that they feel very impulsive. It's a very rushed feeling. You sit down at your favorite Mexican restaurant and you see those chips, duh, you're gonna have them, and then it becomes rushed and it's like you're just shoveling chips into your mouth and you're like, why am I even eating these? I don't even know why I'm eating these. I still can't go, by the way, to a Mexican restaurant and not have chips and salsa. I'm just saying, but this is just an example. Like, you're about to eat something else. You don't need to eat all those chips, but it just feels right, And the hunger from the senses is extremely different from real physical hunger. It's abrupt, it's quick, it's impulsive, it makes you act impulsively. Whereas, do you guys see the difference now? Like, physical hunger came on gradually. About the time that physical hunger is going to come on, whereas sense hunger can just, bam, it can just get you. When you're walking through the mall or you're walking to your mom's house and she's baking your favorite dish, whatever. The next time you realize, so how do we combat sense hunger? The next time you realize you're suffering from a sense hunger or an impulsive behavior, I want you to think of this acronym. It's DINTEO, DINTEO. And that stands for, do I need this eating opportunity? It's so stupid simple, isn't it? DINTEO, do I need this? Do I need this eating opportunity? And just think of that. It's so silly, but really, when you're sitting there and you're having that sense hunger come on, you recognize it. You're like, oh, well, I wasn't really hungry until my friend brought over this cake and it looks so good. Denteo. And if you don't need it, move on. And you can congratulate yourself in that moment that you were able to overcome something that you previously wouldn't have even realized was happening. Or you ask yourself, Denteo, do I need this eating opportunity? And your answer is, yeah, like me at a Mexican restaurant with the chips and dip. Yeah, I do. I really do. I need it. I don't really need it, but I want it. I'm going to eat it. And you know what I'm going to do? Treat it like a treat. Pull away my chips and just really savor those first few bites of a chip. And then think, do I need to have 30? Do I need to sit here and keep eating chips until my meal comes? No, because I just had a few and it satisfied that sense hunger and I feel okay about it. And I allowed it to be a treat and it was delicious and I savored it and I'm going to move on and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Does that all make sense? Okay. The next one is emotional hunger. And this can be, this can guide your eating, your drinking, anything. So emotional hunger is just basically when you are putting something, fulfilling yourself for emotions. So maybe you're frustrated, you're angry, you're sad, you're lonely, or maybe you're even just really happy. You know, we grow up, I think like all of us in most cultures, when you go through something really sad, you get together and you, for like after a funeral, and you have big food, you have all this comfort food. People bring all the favorite dishes to the house and there's a big party and everyone eats everything. And then the same thing when you're really happy, if you're celebrating a big milestone in your life, if you, excuse me, if you graduated college or you did something really amazing at work, you got a promotion at work, what's the thing everybody wants to do? Let's all go out and celebrate. And so the big thing is like you go out in this happy moment and you eat all the things and you drink all the things. And again, it's not that that's not okay. And I don't want people to think that you can't have those moments and enjoy those moments, because that's definitely not what this is about. This is about just having an understanding and a recognition of this, okay? So because in those moments where you are having sad and lonely and frustration and happiness, that you're celebrating something, you can still eat sensible stuff and it's not going to sabotage you and it's still going to fill you up and it's going to be delicious. You can still do that. So my best advice to help you with emotional eating or emotional drinking is this: just be able to recognize it when it's happening and ask yourself that first step. Maybe all you're doing is recognizing, hey, I recognize that I'm eating this cheese quesadilla because I'm really frustrated right now. Or I recognize that I'm coming home on a Tuesday and casually having half a bottle of wine because I'm angry about stuff that happened at work. Just recognize it. That's your first step. I don't want you, if you're like a big sufferer of this, to try and fix it and solve it overnight, because that just won't happen. This is like years of a behavior that we've learned. Now we have to take time to learn how to overcome it. So recognize it, number one. Allow yourself in that moment, that emotion, to have whatever it is that you want to have. Whatever it may be, allow yourself to have it, okay? But then here's the key. What I want you to start to do is write down after you have it how you feel. Because I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, that having whatever you had to satisfy that emotional hunger probably didn't take away those feelings of sadness, probably didn't take away the frustration, the anger. You know what? If you were out, if anything, it made all those things worse, because you're going down that downward negative mental spiral because you had all that pizza and you think, now I can't get on the scale because I'm so fat. You're using all these negative words, I cheated, this and that. It probably didn't help any of those emotions get better, okay? And then if it's a celebratory thing, what you're probably going to realize is that I didn't need to eat an hour's worth of chips and queso to enjoy my friend's company. I didn't need that. It didn't contribute to how happy I felt. And so you start to recognize that stuff, right? Once you start to see that this is an ineffective way to cope with emotions, then you can start to work toward other ways to cope with your emotions, okay? It's not an overnight process getting over emotional eating. It just isn't, or satisfying emotional hunger. But it's real. So recognize that it's real and be okay with that, okay? And then you start working towards the things that can help. And I'm not a therapist, so if you're really lonely, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to not be lonely. But then you've got to start looking towards other coping mechanisms, all right? So the next one is mind hunger. This is one that I really didn't think about before, but it makes total sense. Mind hunger is something you're satisfying, or it's a way you're eating because it's a belief you've always had or a thought you've always had. So my best example, as I'm sitting here before this to think of all the examples of what to say, was about 6 years ago. Do you guys remember MyFitnessPal was like so popular? I use MyFitnessPal. I don't know if you guys did. And I want to also say I wear a Fitbit now, so I know what I burn every day. I burn about 3,000 calories a day. So I'm pretty active. MyFitnessPal, and nothing really has changed. If anything, I'm less active now than I was before because I have kids and I'm too busy and all that. But MyFitnessPal told me back then that I needed to eat 1,200 calories. And that's what I believed. Yes. If it said, if you want to have sustainable weight loss of 1 to 2 pounds per week, you need to eat 1,200 calories. So do you know what I actually did? I was eating a lot of times less than 1,200 because in my head, I can't go over 1,200. I'm never going to lose weight if I go over 1,200 calories. And I had friends who were doing this with me. That was the big thing with MyFitnessPal, is that you have your buddies, you have your MFP buddies, and you're like, see each other's food diaries and this. And what I was realizing is that in order to have those treats, back then I called them cheats, in order to have them, I would have to go hours to starve because I knew I'd want to save the 1,200 calories for later, right? Does it make sense? I mean, it does. It's a stupid way of thinking, but that's a mind hunger. That's how I believed I needed to eat. And I actually have a friend to this day has not been able to get past that. Very unhealthy. She will go all day long and not eat anything, and then eat like 3 Reese's cups and Swiss rolls and all the things that equal up to 1,200 calories. That's horrible. You're starving yourself. And then what you're eating is like not going to sustain you to be satisfied and full for a very long time. If I ate a Swiss roll, I'd be starving in an hour. Oops, I said the word. See, you guys, I'm telling you, I'm not perfect. Hang on, I gotta close my office door. Stay out, champ. Leave me alone. Okay. Yeah, see, so I'm not perfect. I just used the word, the S word. No S word, no F word, no CH word. But that's mind hunger. And so to overcome that, I would just say, if what you've been following for a long time is a crazy rule, ask yourself, is this real? Is this a thing? Or is it something that you know is not serving you? Don't hold on to it. Let it go. It can be so empowering and so liberating to let that shit go. Okay? And that's like my favorite thing about 2B mindset. And that's, people ask me like, well, what is 2B mindset? And I'm like, listen, it's a way of eating that's lifelong. And I have never felt so liberated in my life. And that is so true. I'm not counting anything. I'm not doing any of that. And I'm liberated. It feels good. Okay. The fifth type of hunger is sleep deprived hunger. This is a real scientific proof that if you don't get enough sleep, first of all, who gets 7 hours of sleep a night? Consistent. Nobody? Kate said I generally do. Nobody else gets 7 hours of sleep? Oh my God. I don't know how you guys survive. Okay. Kate, is it uninterrupted? Or do you like wake up and get woken up by kids and whatnot? Because you're the only person who gets 7 hours. And now we're like intrigued. We're all like, oh, she's magic. Lucky to get 5 or 6. Yeah, I'm about 6 to 6.5. But if I get 7 to 8, oh my God, do I feel so much better. I feel like I could take on the world, right? So here's the thing. And this is scientifically proven, you guys. If you get around 6 to 7 or less hours of sleep at night, especially at the 6-hour mark or less, your body is truly out of whack for so many reasons. But when you're talking in sense of eating and hunger, there's 2 hormones in our bodies in particular. One is called ghrelin and one's called leptin. Ghrelin, think of growling, like your stomach growling. That's the hormone that tells us we're hungry. And that hormone level is increased when you get less than 6 hours of sleep. The hormone level leptin is the hormone that hormone tells us we're satisfied when we're eating. If you get less than 6 hours of sleep, that hormone level is down. So what does that mean? Not only are we hungrier, well, we're hungrier, our body needs energy because we didn't get enough sleep, so our body's naturally going to want carbs because that's the quickest and easiest way to get an energy spike. But your body, what you do eat, your body feels hungrier, and what you do eat isn't going to satisfy you, and you're going to want more carbs. It's science, people. It's real science. I can tell you the articles to go look at. So no matter what you eat, you feel hungry and you're tired and your body's telling you to eat all these things and you don't feel full. Now imagine if this is a daily thing for you because you get less than 6 hours of sleep over time. And now you're like, oh my God, maybe this makes a lot more sense as to like why I'm eating what I'm eating and why I'm so hungry all the time, why I'm so tired all the time. Get a little bit more sleep. The CDC recommends 7 hours at a minimum. And if you can't get 7 hours, maybe you get 6, 6.5, try to get a nap. Try to equal out your total 24 hours of sleep to 7 hours, okay? All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, it's a little quick exercise. So everyone that's walking around and doing stuff, I need you to like sit and be centered and focused. And actually sit, I want you to sit for it. Yes, I know, I'm kind of gonna go through I don't wanna scare people, but like a meditation exercise, but I don't wanna scare you. It's not gonna be like super intense. So, and the point of this exercise is to help you work on visualization. So if you combine starting to change your mindset into more positive vocabulary, talking to yourself in a more positive way, you start to understand why you're hungry and what you're eating and why you're eating it, and also create this vision for yourself and start to understand how visualization is powerful, then you're gonna see some results, no matter what you do, no matter if you don't change anything else, okay? So I'm gonna keep my eyes open, but I want everyone to get to a place where you can just sit and just like relax for a couple minutes. It's only gonna be a couple minutes, I promise. All right, I want you to close your eyes. Really feel relaxed in the chair you're in or whatever you're sitting on. And I want you to take some deep breaths. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. In and out. Okay, now I want you to start to visualize yourself. You're laying in your bed. You're at your goal or dream weight, no matter how far away that is from you right now. This is where you are in this vision. I want you to look down at your body, laying in the blankets. How do you look? How does it feel? How do you feel? Now I want you to visualize yourself getting up out of the blankets and standing up and walking to the bathroom. Again, how do you feel? Do your joints ache less because you've shed some weight? Focus on just how good it feels to be in your body and to get out of bed and walk. Now I want you to visualize yourself in your bathroom. You go to the bathroom, then you stand in front of your scale. And I want you to step on your scale. You're not scared of it. You feel really positive when you step on it. And I want you to really focus on the number that you see between your toes. How amazing does it feel to see your goal weight there? I want you to really give yourself a moment here to feel that positivity. When you look down and you see that number between your toes, you have worked so hard for that and it's paid off. I want you to celebrate. Feel good. Now I want you to look in the mirror. How great do you feel? Really look at your reflection and feel that pride in yourself. You look just as amazing in the mirror as you feel on the inside. Now I want you to go to your closet. What are you going to wear today? Is it an outfit you've been holding on to? You've been waiting for this special moment when you got to that goal weight? Or is it a brand new outfit altogether that you bought because you knew you were getting close? You bought it special for this occasion when you hit your goal. I want you to put it on. How does it feel to pull that new size of jeans up and button them without any struggle? How does it feel to have that shirt on and it doesn't feel uncomfortable? It fits just right. Can you see it? Can you feel this? You feel so good in your new positive lifestyle, your new routine that's working so well for you. Everything feels so right. You don't have to overthink anything. Everything feels so natural. This is working. You're feeling at your best. Now I want you to take another deep breath and open your eyes. It's a visualization. That's what it is. And you know what? It's yours. It's your own personal one. No one else could have seen that for you. Whatever you just pictured in your head is yours and only yours. So I hope that you guys can see that that little exercise to do that can help you get to any goal. If you visualize something and you start to think positively, you can get there. The body is amazing. Our bodies will do what our minds tell them to do. So that is my webinar. I'm going to unmute you all because I know we've got a couple coaches on here and people are going to, how do I do? Unmute all. Okay. Actually, I'll mute you all and hang on. Okay, hold on. Here's the deal, because everyone's really, really loud all at once. So I muted everyone back, but I gave you the ability to unmute yourself. Or if you want to say something, just raise your hand. But I want to tell you guys, this is, hang on, Lindsay, I'm going to mute you for a second. This is ways that you can start, you can implement all of this right now. But I will tell you, if you have a desire to learn more about 2B mindset, ask the coach who invited you here. If you're with me, just ask me about it after. I can share with you guys how to get it, how to order it, all of that. In the 2B mindset, just to give you guys some background, and everything that I just learned through this certification course is all from Alana Molstein. She created this. She is a woman who grew up obese her whole life. I'm talking went to fat camp at age 8. Fat camp. And that's what she calls it. She's like, fat. And she would learn these like unrealistic things to implement at camp while she was away for 3 months in the summer, and then go home and then gain back that weight and then some, and then go back the next year, and then it was like a downward spiral her whole life. And she went to school for nutrition. She's the top level of a nutritionist dietitian that you can be. And she created this program. She has, in her early adulthood, and has maintained, kept weight off. She's had a baby. She's recently had a baby. She looks banging. It's things that hundreds and thousands of people have benefited from her. And then Beachbody was like, we need you. Come here. We need this. So this is something that it's not like it just came about. This was years in the making. And it's amazing.
Can I jump in really fast and tell you the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian? Do you guys use the words kind of interchangeably? So for those of you who are no, Christy, you're my people. There's a true difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. A nutritionist studies nutrition science. How do the vitamins and minerals and foods that we put in our body impact our organs? They just study the science, right? They don't know how to get you to change your behavior, your mindset, your thought pattern, any of that, right? A dietitian studies not just impacts the cells, right? It's more than that. A dietitian studies how to help you overcome your food relationships, how to change behavior with food, how to change your mindset around food. And Alana isn't just some random person they found. She is the top dietitian at UCLA Medical Center. She actually left the medical center and was running independent courses where she was charging a lot of money, but her heart was in it to help more people. Just like Autumn Calabrese when she created 21 Day Fix, and her heart was in it to help more people. The reason that they've sort of partnered with Beachbody is just to help more people like you who are struggling, who can't afford a $1,200 weekend with Alana, and then one-on-one $500 an hour counseling sessions one-on-one with Alana, right? So the whole program is set up by a dietitian, right? a lot of us that are coaches, I think we all drink Shakeology. It's created by a nutritionist. They understand the science, but they don't understand how to get you to do it. They can just make you something, right? They can make a beach bar, they can make Shakeology, but Alana is a dietitian. So she is focused on not just what you eat, but how it interacts with your body, your mind, how to help you get your mind there.
Yeah. And I want to say too that what makes it different with our team is that, because to me, anyone can go out and you can get online and you can get 2B Mindset, or you can go join Weight Watchers, or you can go get whatever. Mm-hmm. What you may be missing in those situations is the community. And that's what we have. We have a group. Some of the people that are in that community are here, and that's where it's magical, because you have daily support. We are there for you every single day in that group, and that's where it makes a difference. Mm-hmm. So I also wanted to just say a couple of things about the program itself. It's not just all about this mindset stuff. You really do get shown what to eat. They have what's called the Plate It method. So you learn how a very basic overlay of how each plate should look. Like it should be 50% this, 50% this, or 25% of your plate should be this, and 25% this, and 50% this. That's how it works. So for the first time in my life, for the last 4 months, I've not measured anything in a container, and I haven't counted calories. I've just made my plate look this percentage way, and learned that, okay, maybe because I was really hungry yesterday, I didn't have enough of this percentage, like my plate wasn't big enough. Or maybe my plate was too big and I needed to cut down on that a little bit. But I've also learned different things. So one thing is that the scale is not my enemy. The scale is a resource, and it's a way for me to learn how my body reacts to food. So I'm the type of person that I would like not get on the scale except twice a year right before having to get weighed for the Army. And now I use it as a way to understand. And sometimes, what's funny is I realize that, if I had 2 glasses of wine on a Friday night and I get on the scale on Saturday morning, what I see is that it didn't really kill me like I thought. In my mind, I have always thought like that's going to ruin my results. But on Saturday I get on the scale and I'm like, oh, okay, I just didn't lose any weight yesterday, but I maintained, and that's okay. I still really enjoyed my 2 glasses of wine. Yeah, you better believe I did.
I love what Alana said the other day. If you can buy it at a store, it can't measure your self-worth. It can only measure your gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Right? So just because you're weighing yourself every day doesn't mean it's still not weighing your self-worth. You're still an incredible person who is enough right where you are, right in this moment. You are enough, and you are worthy of being the person that you want to be, regardless of what the scale says. I don't want you guys to feel like anybody thinks that we're measuring your self-worth, but you can use it as a tool to help you be the weight you want to be, because then you might feel even better about yourself and even more loving and kind to the people around you.
And not only that, I will tell you too, I don't eat veggies. I do now, but before this, when I did 21 Day Fix and I think I was supposed to be eating like 4 containers of green stuff a day, I'd be like, sure. I think I had 2, but I'll pretend I had 4. And then what was happening? I was like hungry because I wasn't getting enough of those. Yeah, I know. I'm horrible coach. Or I had to find ways to hide my veggies. Like I hid them in my shake and blended them where I wouldn't taste them. Because my
entire reality is shattered.
I had this mind hunger I was suffering from that I didn't like veggies. I had told myself for so long that I don't like veggies that I just wouldn't eat them. So now I will tell you guys that's like a majority of what I eat, and so many different benefits from that. My nails, they're so long. You can't really see, but they're so long I have to trim them every week for the first time in my life, because usually they break and they're brittle and they break off within like a day of them being a lot. Look how I don't know if you can see how long they're so long. It's crazy. My hair is like, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like long and luscious, and it's grown a lot in a year. But there's so many benefits to this. It's not just the scale. It's not just losing pant sizes. It's really focusing. You start to realize in your life that maybe you were thinking negatively nonstop about your job, and you were letting your job stress you out. Do you know what I've learned to do at my job now? When things are stressing me out, do you know what I imagine it doing? When a problem is brought to me, I'm like, okay, can I solve this problem? Yes or no? If I can't solve this problem, do you know what I literally visualize in my head? The problem coming on my shoulders and then falling off. I'm not going to let that weigh me down. I've learned how to let go of some of the things that I otherwise would have held on to in my mind, and let those things create a more negative space. And then it just kept, then I was stressed at night, and then I was eating because I was stressed at night, and I was drinking at night on a weekday when I had no business doing that, and it wasn't serving me any purpose. And I've learned to let go of that stuff. And this is the first time in my whole life that I've learned how to address those things. So you don't just get this like plan of like, here's how you eat. It's really a program that helps you work through your fucking life. It really does. So that is 2B Mindset. We can go into anything else with you guys individually. If you want information, you can get just the program. It's a video-based program. So you can watch the videos on an app. You can watch them on your web browser. You can watch them wherever. But you get a tracker. You get all this stuff, and you just learn. That's all you have to do. To learn, and then you implement. And we add you into our 2B group where starting Monday, whole new way of running that group, where I want to have a weekly call in there to have people give me questions if they're struggling with something. Me being a mentor for this program, I take it extremely serious. And because I've had my own success with it, my mom, I've got multiple people in that group that have had success with it. I take it very serious, and I want to help you have success with it too. So if this is something you want to implement, just let me know, or let the coach know, whoever invited you to this. But now, the fun time of the call, I want to give away some prizes. So here's what we're going to do. I have 3 prizes to give away. So I'm going to ask 3 questions to see how well you guys paid attention. And the first person to get the answer typed out, I almost just put my paper over a flame. That was not smart. The first person to type out the answer is going to get the prize, okay? And I will get to the post office, not tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure Columbus Day is federal. So I don't think the post office will be open, but I'll be at the post office on Tuesday. So if you won, private message me your address, your mailing address, okay? Ready? I've got the chat box open. So first person to type the answer. Give an example of a sensed hunger. Oh, Kate, on it. Kate, sight, yes. Okay, so you are winning a K-Bella Refreshing Pomegranate Peel-Off Mask and some mini bath bombs. They are lavender scented bath bombs. So make sure you send me your address. Okay, next question. What are the 2 hormone levels that make you feel hungrier and less satisfied after a night of poor sleep? Even if you, is there anybody typing? Ah, yes. Okay, Kate, you already won one. Alex, you got one of them. Tell him to get something. All right, I'm gonna give it to Alex because she had it. She had one at least. So Alex, you got mini bath. It's ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the hormone that, think of growling, because it's kind of spelled a little bit similar. And ghrelin is a hormone that makes you feel hungrier. And leptin is a hormone that makes you feel satisfied. And those, the ghrelin level is high, leptin level is low after no sleep. So Alex, you will be getting raspberry scented bath bombs and a purifying tea tree and witch hazel mud mask. I have your address already. You don't need to send me that. You're going to ask me to repeat it. I know that was a hard question. I was wondering if anyone was going to get it. Final question. What does the acronym DINTEO stand for? Yeah, Dorian. Do I need this eating opportunity? And that's a way that you can kind of help curb some of that impulsive eating, okay? Mom, were you close? Oh. Okay, so Dorian, you have fresh lavender scented hand lotion and a revitalizing overnight face mask coming your way. Okay, I'm going to unmute everybody. How do I do that? Oh yeah, here we go. Does anybody have questions? Anyone have any questions, or just like, I don't know, any comments, anything?
Hey, I have a comment. The one comment I have is about the scale and what you guys were saying about weighing every day. I'm the worst. I will weigh myself 2 times a day when I feel like I'm doing good. I finally cut it back to where I try to only weigh once every other day. But I do use it more as a measure of what did I eat yesterday? What could I have changed? Because I want to make sure I don't slide up, that I either maintain or go down. And I just think that was a good thought that you guys were saying, that it's not our self-worth, that we're just using it as a tool.
Yeah.
Find it going in the direction you want to go into.
Yeah. Your weight, the number on the scale doesn't define you. And that's what you have to get away from when you do 2D mindset and doing the weight. You have to remember that it's not a definition of anything other than it's a tool. It's a tool, it's a resource, it's just a way to see. It's like measuring what you ate. Did it help me? Did it hurt me? Because even if it could be something so simple as
I can eat ice cream. I can eat ice cream and not get anything.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't know.
I can drink vodka and not gain weight. Things we learned on TV
When I want to cheat, I'm like, I'm going for the ice cream. I'm not going for the food because I at least can enjoy this bowl of ice cream and not worry about the scale.
You're not going to get negative about it, right? Because you already know from doing this that one bowl of ice cream isn't killing you. So instead of having that guilty feeling and associated with food is not your enemy. It's not. Food is food. It's there for you. And you can have those treats and still not gain weight. And that's what I think has been so powerful and liberating. I also wanted to say, this is something I meant to say about 2D Mindset and the veggies, is that I feel like in some diets, you're told, okay, you need to eat all this steamed broccoli. And you can't put any butter on it. You can't use salt and pepper. You can't put any cheese on it. Like, it just needs to be some steamed raw broccoli or steamed whatever.
My soul just died a little bit.
I know, because I'll tell you something. If I need to eat 3 cups of broccoli in one day, I will tell you, I'll guarantee you, if I had it plain on my plate with nothing good on it, no accessories, I'm going to eat like a bite of it. And then I'm like,
I love broccoli.
Let me just eat 2 servings of rice or mashed potatoes, because I just can't eat something that doesn't taste good. But if I can put a little bit of cheese, maybe some garlic, cook it in a little bit of oil, some teriyaki sauce or soy sauce, whatever, then I'm going to eat 3 cups of broccoli because it's good. So this program does not make you restrict that stuff. It actually encourages the use of accessory to make your food more appetizing so that you actually eat it, instead of like pretending to eat it because it was on your plate, but you didn't really eat it. And then you didn't get any benefits from it. So it's better to cook it in a way you're going to eat it than to cook it in a way that you're not and not have those nutrients.
I'd like to say too is, don't be afraid to try cooking your vegetables differently.
Yeah.
I grew up on everything was boiled to death to where it had absolutely nothing left to it, or it came from a can. And I have learned that fresh vegetables and roasting them a lot of times is my go-to. And I also have purchased an air fryer, so it only takes me 10-15 minutes. You know, I can have it prepped in a way, in a bag, throw it in my air fryer, go change my clothes from work to my out clothes, because I go out every night of the week, and then eat that instead of sitting there and figuring out, what am I going to do this time? What am I going to do this time? And I'm trying to make those more conscious decisions of eating at home instead of eating when I go to the bars and play pool, and trying to make sure I drink water when I'm at the bar, or a mixed drink, but I'm not getting sloshed, and I'm not eating bar food. And that was the one thing I was, when I kind of sustained for a couple of weeks on weight loss, I realized I was eating bar food. And so I was like, okay, I got to figure out what else can I do. The other thing I do is I have an hour commute. So when I drive home, I make sure I have carrot sticks or cucumbers already cut up, and I eat that on my way home. And that's like my pre-snack to dinner. And then I get home and I eat my dinner, try to eat my dinner before I go out. So just rethinking sometimes how I eat, when I eat, and where I eat.
That's pure genius. The other thing, who thinks they don't like carrots because you eat baby carrots?
Oh, I don't eat baby carrots. I cut them up.
Yeah, eat a carrot stick and see if you actually like it, because regular carrots are way better, right? Did you know, in like right beside the baby carrots, Boathouse Farms has carrot sticks?
that are already cut
Really
for.
convenient, and they taste like 700 times better, and they're not the reject carrots that they ground up and made look small.
Yeah.
Right.
And carrot
Right.
chips. You can get carrot chips too from Bolthouse Farms.
Yes.
Reject carrots. I like that.
And carrots, so fresh produce wise, food doesn't have, eating healthy does not have to be more expensive or long drawn out preparation. Randy and I, our meals for dinner especially, they take like 10 minutes to cook. So I'll share kind of some tips that I do. Fresh produce, because before we were buying all this produce and then it was going bad by the middle of the week, I only get certain fresh produce that will sustain for more than a few days. So carrots is a really good one. Bell peppers is a good one to just have, because you can make any kind of meal with a bell pepper. And, you know, like onions, things like that, some potatoes, some sweet potatoes. But what we rely on most, like 85% of my shopping cart is frozen vegetables. And the world of frozen veggies has like exploded. It's amazing. You go in the frozen aisle, there's like riced cauliflower that you can steam, or riced broccoli. So a go-to meal for us is to get riced cauliflower, riced broccoli, get all those things that are riced and they're really small. And we make ground turkey. We saute, the ground turkey to brown it, and then we add in all that riced veggies, and it's like a stir fry. So it's replacing rice with actual riced veggies, and it's really good. Put a little bit of soy sauce on it, or tamari. And then another go-to meal, if you really like a pasta meal, really heavy pasta, is to take the same ingredient like ground turkey, mix that up, brown it up, and then have some tomato sauce or something like that. And then instead of pasta, you actually replace that with either spaghetti squash. But if some people don't like the texture of spaghetti squash, so if you don't, try my new favorite thing is spiralized carrots. And they're also in the frozen section. If you don't have time to spiralize carrots, like who has time to do that? I sure as hell don't. They have them in the frozen section. As you're cooking your meat and putting the sauce in, you steam that in the microwave and you throw that in. Oh my God, it's so good. I think it's my new favorite meal, because the carrots give it a little bit of a sweet flavor. So it's like a sweet spaghetti, and the noodles are the just right texture that spaghetti noodles would be. They're perfect. It's so good. And so we do a lot of those kind of meals, and we do broccoli tots, cauliflower tots. Some of those you have to be careful with because they do have some added carb as far as potato mixed in with it. So those would be more for like your lunch, but here and there you can have them for dinner. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, so the ones you have to be careful of are the frozen veggie pastas. You need to look at the nutrition information because they're mostly potato.
Yeah, they're veggie infused. But yeah, that's our trick. And you know, if, like I said, if you have to put some cheese on some veggies so that you eat your veggies, put some cheese on it. Maybe just don't load it with cheese. And the other good thing about 2B mindset is if you're willing to do it and really learn this process, because it's not about binge watching these videos to implement this week. It's about learning this to keep this sustainable for your life. And then maybe rewatching in a few months just to see if you learn anything else different. But she teaches you everything. She teaches you, how do you approach a family barbecue? If you're still trying to lose weight and you don't want it to be a weight gain day? How do you approach a potluck at work? How do you approach going out to dinner with your friends and having a night out, or going on a date night? And I'll tell you, like, that was my biggest struggle, because I'm a social person. I'm a celebrator kind of person. I'm an emotional eater. So I was getting into these situations and going on a date night to celebrate and having all the carbs. I've learned how, one, I actually feel more satisfied after having chicken and shrimp and like 2 veggie sides versus if I would have had a cheeseburger and french fries, because I'm going to feel horrible after eating a cheeseburger and french fries. I'm going to eat it all. It's delicious. And then versus where I ate that other meal and I actually was fuller longer. It was really good. I had this meal yesterday at a restaurant. It was so good. I was like, I don't even think, honestly, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that a cheeseburger would have been better than this. I really feel like this tastes so much better. And once you start eating this way, you just realize that food just starts to taste better. The healthy stuff tastes better, makes you feel better, gives you energy. So yeah, that's getting a little bit off on a tangent here, but.
So I wanted to just chime in really quick because I'm kind of coming from the other end where I've been on the 2B, eating for a while, and I feel better from an energy standpoint, So I'm not losing the pounds. And Laura and I have been talking, and it really does, I think, come down to my mindset. So yeah, the food is good and learning the way to eat is awesome too, but Laura's got a point. You've got to keep your mind in the positive direction. So I'm kind of doing a do-over, a mulligan, and working on my mindset, and that this is going to be a weight loss day and I can do this. And the scale is a tool. It's not a life sentence, because the first couple weeks that I started this, I did pretty well. Like I saw some changes and I was like, okay, this can happen. And then I think I went out for one night, right? I went out one night with my family to have a drink and a meal. I think we went to Mexican and I had cheese dip. And I was like, you know what? I've been really good. I'm going to treat myself this one night out of 2 weeks. And the next day I got on the scale and it had like jumped by like 5 or 6 pounds. And I was almost right back to where I started. And then from there, my mind was just like, see, I knew this couldn't last and this and that. And so, I'm eating the way I should be eating, and I need to get my mind right. So Laura is exactly right. And I just wanted to reiterate that the food's awesome and you do feel better, but you got to make sure that you're on that right track with your mindset too.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Alex. Oh, I just saw that you had your hand up.
Oh, that was one time ago.
Yeah. So Heather, I think, are you joining kind of late into it? Or were you on before? Maybe you were on before. I'll unmute you. There you go.
There. Nope, I was late.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that's okay. We all have a life, but I want you to go back. We're gonna post the recording, or whoever invited you will be able to give you the link, so you can go back and watch, because we're kind of just like chatting right now, but there is really good stuff that you need to hear and learn.
Hey, Laura's mother was late too because she doesn't know how to tell time well.
Yeah, and I thought you had alarms set, so that's funny. All right, well, guys.
My car, and the alarm won't go off in my car because of the whole phone thing in the car. So,
well, does anyone else have anything that they wanted to say before we cut the call? All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure to be able to share all this with you.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Welcome. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.